Hey everybody, my name is John Jack Rainmaker Common. I know, that's me. Anyway, very simple. John Jack Rainmaker Common. Jack, as you know, is a nickname for John. Rainmaker because I make it rain. They would have a joke about me in Seattle, Washington, throw me in Lake Washington, and I would come up with two accounts because I make it rain. It's like magic. Anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about real estate and real estate investing and how you can make a minimum of $5,000 a deal with literally no money in real estate investing. I'm being serious. With no money. Now, there's a lot of people that say you can get into real estate with no money, blah, 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 blah. And they have like little band-aid fixes, but none of them really get in depth. And I'll tell you how I started on this journey in just a moment. But the very first thing I want to tell you about, okay, and you can see it on the first screen here, on my first slide, right? It is not like HGTV. For some reasons, Americans have this love affair with like home improvement and home remodeling. 30, 40 years ago, remember this old house? It was a national public television show where they had the host guy who was showing you how to do certain things on your home, how he was going to upgrade the kitchen or fix a roof or a leaky door. No, wait a minute, fix a door or fix a leaky roof, right? Okay, anyway, doesn't really matter. But the very first thing I want to tell you about, it is not like HGTV. It's not about picking up the phone, hey, I want to buy your house, $300,000. We can open escrow tomorrow and close by Friday. I'll write you a check. It's not like that. What are the numbers? What's the spread? And then they show the lady laying tile, you know, with a full set of manicured fingernails. Believe me, nobody's laying tile with manicured fingernails. Maybe with a pedicure, maybe wearing gloves or something. I don't know. But anyway, okay? And there's definitely not sledgehammer demo. Yeah, let's take the sledgehammer and start demonstrating. Demolition. It's not demonstrating. Although I think if you took a sledgehammer and went demonstrating, you might get arrested. But that's another story. But anyway, what happens if you hit an electrical outlet? What happens if you smash the wrong pipe? I've seen people go in and demo houses, do the interior, take out the bathrooms, and they ruin everything. They break pipes that need to be fixed. It's crazy. Electrical outlets need to be replaced, okay? But most importantly, what are the numbers? They have this love story they show on television. Oh, we buy the house, we fix it up, and they actually do come up with some very creative solutions. And then they tell you, well, we bought the house for $1 and we sold it for $2. Wow, look at all the money we made. And then everybody says, yay, I want to get out of the rat race. I want to become a house flipper. And then you have all these people flying into town. Fan Merrill, Montalagno, Fortune Builders, 3-day seminars. I'm going to show you how to become a flipper and make money from real estate investing. And by the way, it's going to cost you 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand. Then there's the upsell for 30, 40, $50,000. I've met lots of people who've spent crazy money from their 401k paying for these seminars. Yeah, I know. I had one guy back in, I think, 2015, 2016, who paid $50,000 from his 401k to one of these seminars. Spent a year trying to do a flip or look for a flip, couldn't find anything. I met him and I looked at him and I said to him, you know what? With that 50,000 that you spent on the seminar, yeah, you could have actually probably done maybe 2 flips. And he looks at me like, really? Yes, really. Okay? So, anyway, number 1 rule. It's not like HGTV. It's a lot more complicated than you think, okay? And I've been doing this for a long, long time. I've made lots of money doing it. Okay, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and the thing is I actually a few years ago sat down. I was going to write a book about flipping houses because that's, everyone's writing books today. Hey, to be credible, you have to have a book, right? Doesn't matter if you wrote it, as long as it has your name on it. Okay. Anyway, so the title of my book was going to be called Flipping Houses Without Flipping Out. Okay. And as I started kind of writing the outline, okay, what are the chapters? What are the sections? What are some of the subjects I need to address in writing this book? Because I believe in giving you true, real, actionable advice. Okay, those people do the seminars. Okay, they're all really good at selling seminars. I wonder if they're still doing flips. And yes, if you religiously follow their seminar stuff, there are a few people, I don't know how many, not everybody, okay, that have maybe performed or conducted some successful flips. I have no idea. But anyway, okay. What I discovered as I was laying out my chapters and my sections, this is a lot more complicated, okay? And unless you like to lose money, you really, really, really need to study this, okay, and work on it, okay? So one of the things, first of all, I thought about, okay, well, why real estate, okay? The real estate economy, and there's also, different kinds of real estate, residential, commercial, anything above 4 apartments is typically a commercial building, believe it or not, in multifamily. Yeah, kind of interesting. Also, how to do real estate with other people's money. Yes, you can do that. Okay. Um, what's the risk reward about getting involved in real estate? Okay. Um, is there a market return and so on and so forth? But then I also talked about, okay, well, what about property searching? And if you go out there, there's all these guys that sell tools and will sell you a seminar. Let me show you my fantastic way of finding properties. And you can do it through the MLS. You can do it with a realtor. You can drive around for dollars, look for the owner of an abandoned house or whatever, skip tracing. You can do direct mail. I've done all this, okay? Internet, social media, website, I'll buy your house for cash, all that stuff, okay? And property search, it's a bird dog, other wholesalers, marketing. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things you can do, okay? Mass electronic TV, cable television. I did cable television advertising, okay? And then most importantly, and this is where the crux is, and this is what I'm going to address today, is the numbers, okay? You need to estimate each deal before you even make an offer, okay? Because you know what? I can buy any property. Yes, I can get any property under contract. When I was doing direct mail, I used to drive around, look for houses that were abandoned, empty, trashed out. Maybe the power meter wasn't there, which means, it was empty. Maybe squatters were living there or whatever, okay? And I would do some skip tracing, find out who the owners were, and I would write the owners a letter. And what was amazing to me is that my phone would ring. Hello? Hey, I got your letter. Yeah. You want to buy my house cash? Yeah. Well, I just called to tell you that it's not for sale. Really? Why would anybody call you to tell them it's not for sale? Okay. But, if you were to make an offer, what would it be? Well, you know what? Since it's not for sale, my offer would be immaterial. The point I'm trying to make here is everything is for sale. I can find all kinds of properties and get them under contract. I can, if I'm going to pay too much. Yes, the guy down the street, he's got a $700,000 building. I can find that property, I can get it under contract for $1 million because I pay too much. There's the rule of 70, and we'll talk about that later, okay? So then there's the structure of the offer. How do you offer? How do you structure the offer? And there's a difference between a civilian offer, like a regular person buying a house, okay, and an investment offer. And there's all kinds of things. And what are the formats of the deals? How to talk to the seller, how to get on the contract, how to convince the seller to sell it to you, or whatever it might be. Then there's the actual renovation of the rehab process, okay, which can be very time consuming and cost lots and lots of money. And then on top of this is the most important thing, your own personal self-discipline. I know a lot of people, I'm going to go work on my own. Okay, good. Congratulations. Good luck. Hey man, do you have a schedule? What? Well, when do you start your day? Well, I get up whenever I want to. Oh, cool. I guess that is a bonus about, working for yourself, right? Okay. Well, just like anything else, right? When you go work for somebody else, they give you a job description. They tell you where to be. They tell you how much money to make, right? You're working for them. Okay? Well, believe it or not, when you're working for yourself, you have to do the same thing for yourself. You have to give yourself a job description. You have to give yourself a routine. You have to work set hours. Okay? All that stuff before on those slides, each one of those slides is a chapter. Every single point or bullet point I had on the slide is a section. Yeah. That's a pretty big book. Okay, so today, two things. Goal. Two things. Two. I know I got 4 fingers up, but two. All right. 2. Number 1, why real estate? And number 2, how you can make money in real estate with no money. That's how I started. Yes, I've made millions of dollars. You have no idea. Okay? And whenever I wrote the big check to start a business, it was like, got my ass kicked. Okay? Whenever I started a business where I made it bootstrap, I'm not writing a check. It's got to live on its own. Guess what? It made money. Well, real estate's the same way. Okay? A lot of people, I know a lot of flippers who are in real estate who kind of got into real estate, not by accident, but they got in there with no money and then they started making money. So let's talk about why real estate. Okay? That's the first subject. And then the second one is make $5,000 with no money within the first 30 days. And I really believe that if you do this. Now, everyone's heard of Zillow, right? You've heard of Zillow? Okay. I was in Seattle in the early 90s, and Zillow had the website, and, what's the value of your house? Find out, and we'll send a realtor to your house. Well, over the years, that was a long time ago. That was 30 years ago almost. Okay. Zillow's become actually quite a powerhouse, and a lot of people, I know you probably do, look at Zillow for looking at properties. Okay, all right. According to Zillow, end of 2018, okay, the value of American residential real estate in America, their value estimate is in excess of $33 trillion. $33 trillion. I don't know how many zeros it is, but it's a lot. Okay, maybe somebody can email me, text me, and tell me how many zeros that is. Okay, government entity, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, last year came out and said that their estimate of commercial real estate, right? Office buildings, I'm looking at right now. I see hotels, casinos, I see lots of office buildings, restaurants, strip malls. Those are all commercial. Okay? The value of commercial real estate in the United States of America is in excess of $15 trillion a year. Okay, so let's look at this again. You got Zillow, $33 trillion. Okay, that's a lot. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, $15 trillion. Combined, $48 trillion. Yeah. And let's take housing just by itself, residential real estate, places where people live, okay? What do people spend their money on? Oh my gosh, look at this. Average American household spends 32.9% of their expenditures, because we all know we spend more than we make, but that's another story. Okay? But spend 32.9% of their stuff, their money, on housing. That's mortgage, renting, whatever it might be. Okay? In excess of $18,000 a year. How about you? Okay? Are you renting? Do you own? You have a mortgage? What's your story? Okay? How much money are you spending on rent? Doesn't count if you're renting a room. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. You know, but in Las Vegas, people are renting rooms for $450, $600 a month or whatever, you know, where they have roommates, which I kind of find unusual. But anyway, but the average American in the United States spends in excess of $18,000 on housing, okay? So my whole thing is follow the money. Now I know you've heard of show me the money, show me the money, show me the money. Well, I'm saying follow the money, follow the money. By comparison, and I don't have a slide for this, is the shoe business in America is about $600 billion a year. Now, people sell their homes about every 4, 5, 6 years, right? $33 trillion. That means every year about $6 to $7 trillion worth of real estate gets sold and bought and whatever. That's a lot of friggin' money. So, okay, shoe business 600 billion, real estate 6 trillion. Okay, which one do you want to be in? Okay, all right. So, let's talk about no money needed. What are the two things you can do in real estate where there's no money needed? And in fact, you can actually do this while you're still working your regular job as a working pleb. Yes, you can. Yeah. You can become a bird dogger or you can become a wholesaler. And so let's talk about this. Let's talk about bird doggers, okay? A bird dogger is a lead generator, okay? And let me explain to you why you can make money doing this. Back in 2006, 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009, all the way, right? Okay. We had the big housing crisis. I think it reached a peak in 2008. That's when they had the bailout or whatever. Okay. So we had the housing crisis. A lot of guys who own construction businesses, actually, but not in remodeling companies, got into the housing game, because people were selling their houses dirt cheap. They couldn't rent their house. They couldn't sell it. Banks were selling houses. They were abandoning their homes because they couldn't afford the mortgage. Banks were selling houses cheap. And then guys came along, women came along, and started buying houses dirt cheap. I'm talking cents on the dollar. They take these houses, and of course, some of them had squatters, so they were smashed up. Some of them people left, and I don't know, they were mad at the bank. I'm taking these cabinets. No, I'm going to make a hole in the wall. I don't know why. Anyway, they would buy these houses really cheap. They'd fix them up, and they'd sell them for a profit. And in those days, you could find houses on the street almost. Well, they are on the street, but you know what I mean. Okay? People would go to auctions, foreclosure auctions, bank auctions, tax auctions, any kind of auction. They'd be buying these houses dirt cheap. And then, of course, the seminar guys came along, and the TV shows, Flip Flop, Flipping Las Vegas, you know, all this stuff. And everybody's going, hey, I like that. I'm going to go work for myself. I'm going to become a house flipper. And more people got into the industry. Okay. In fact, recently, Connected Investor, which is a website, okay, conducted a survey. 80% of their investors, and I'm using the word investor very lightly or loosely, okay, said that their biggest challenge was finding product. Well, yeah. Okay. Now, if you go to auctions, stupid newbies, you know, people who are new in the business, are bidding way too much for the property. Hey, congratulations, bank. Okay. Homes aren't as easy to find. Several years ago, 10 years ago, 6 years ago, 4 years ago, people were selling their homes because they were upside down in them, right? They owed more money than they were worth, or they couldn't afford the mortgage payment, or they were going to lose their equity because the bank was going to foreclose, and they were looking to sell their house. And it was actually pretty easy to find property to flip. Now it's become much more competitive, Forget about the people who are new and paying too much money, okay? And it's becoming more difficult to find stuff, okay? So you have demand has seemingly outstripped supply. You understand that, right? Before supply was high, demand was low, prices were low. Price mechanism, okay? Demand is low, supply is high, okay? Now demand is high, supply is low. And when that happens, people pay more than they should, but there are still deals out there. So a bird dogger is someone who generates leads, and it's real simple. What you do is you find someone who's a house flipper, and now this is when I get back to people who say that they're investors, okay? A lot of people who say they're investors, forget about it. Yeah, I'm an investor. Cool. What have you invested in? Guy probably couldn't finance a bucket, okay? Have you done flips? How many flips have you done? Ask hard questions. You only want to talk to real people, people who've done multiple flips, okay? Because we're going to get into this in just a minute, okay? So as a bird dogger, you find a house that looks empty, or you find a house that's all run down. Maybe people are still living in it, doesn't matter. They have a broken roof. Their roof is all torn up, and you can see from the outside, and their garden's overgrown. Maybe these are people who have been living in their home for a million years, and they just can't afford to fix it. Okay? They would love it if somebody came along and bought their house and gave them money. Hey, here's some money for your house. Go move. Go move for a house that doesn't have a leaky roof. Right? Okay? All right? So a bird dogger finds that house and then goes to their investor, flipper, whoever it is, and says, hey, look, there's a house around the corner from me. You might be able to pick it up cheap. Now, here are the pros about being a bird dogger. Anybody can do it. You don't have to go to school for it. We'll talk about that too. Okay? And there's no cost or low cost. I mean, you have to put gas in your car to drive it and stuff like that. You might, have to pay a phone bill or two to make phone calls. Okay? The cons, well, okay, anybody can do it. Yeah, okay. And there's no guarantee of getting paid, right? Once you give the guy a lead and he's able to successfully negotiate and buy the house, doesn't guarantee you get paid, but I don't care. Hey, here's some money. Go get me 5 more. But some people aren't that way. Don't ask me why. Okay. And the challenge with another con with that is success or failure, okay, is really up to somebody else, up to the third party, up to the fellow you gave the lead to. Because in this business, nobody gets paid until the deal's done. Okay? They're not going to pay you for the lead. Some people have tried to do that and it's had mixed results and they pretty much stop. Okay? The real estate business really is a business where everybody gets paid on the transaction. Okay? So let's take a look at the other job you can do in real estate, if you will, with no money and still make big money. Okay? And this is what I'm going to focus on today, is becoming a wholesaler. Okay? Wholesaler finds properties. The wholesaler negotiates with the homeowner, or the real estate agent, or whatever it might be. Okay? The wholesaler ties it up on the contract. Yes. So now you're the wholesaler, you got the house on the contract. And just like anything else, you're going to sign or sell the contract to a third party, and that's where you make your money. Got it? Find the property, negotiate the purchase, get it under contract, assign the contract to a third party, make money. Guys are doing this, girls are doing this all over the country. People are doing this everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's in Las Vegas, where the average house I think is in excess of $300,000 or something crazy now, okay? Or Memphis, Tennessee, where you can buy a house for $15,000. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's making money. Okay? What are the pros? Well, number one pro that I can think of is you're in full control of the whole situation. Number two, you're guaranteed to get paid. You have an assignment contract. That assignment goes to title or the lawyer at closing and says that you get paid. Okay? And you know something else? You don't need any money to do this. Just time, effort, gas in your car, pay your cell phone bill, that kind of stuff. What are the cons? Oh, okay. This is a big con for many people. Okay. You actually need to develop a unique skill set, which means you need to learn shit. Yeah. There's stuff you need to do to learn. Okay. Is there a negotiation school anywhere? Did they teach that in school even anymore? Or did they? Or do they? Or is negotiating skill developed at school while the school bully is trying to extract your lunch money and you convince him not to take your lunch money and not to beat you up? Is that learning negotiating in school? I have no idea. Okay? So the cons of being a wholesaler is you need to develop a unique skill set, number one, okay? And number two, it has a significantly higher learning curve. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. One of the key components to being a successful wholesaler, even a successful bird docker, successful flipper, real estate investor, is property valuation. Yeah? What's the value of the property? And as an investor, wholesaler, you're going to look at this in two ways. What's the value of the property improved, right? So I'm taking this house that was built in 1977. It still looks like 1977 inside and out. That's the one thing about Nevada, especially Las Vegas. People spend zero money on their houses. 1977 house still looks like 1977. You know, the green shag carpet. Do they still have shag carpet? 1977, yeah, they had shag carpet. Remember they had the green carpet? It was kind of like that bowling green, you know, like super lawn green. Okay, or how about the pastel blue? Remember the pastel blue carpet from the 1970s? Yeah. Well, there are still some houses in Las Vegas that have that. Okay, I guarantee you the interior still looks the same. Maybe they put in some new countertops. Maybe they put in some new cabinets. Maybe they painted the wall orange, you know, their favorite color. And then there's each room, you know, three-bedroom house, living room, family room, whatever, dining room, okay, has different kinds of flooring. It's like a quilted house, you know, like a patchwork house. Anyway, so you're going to take this house, this 1977 house, right? And you're going to totally update it, make it brand new inside and out. Brand new inside and out. Doors, new windows, mechanical, whatever it takes, right? Okay? That's super cool. What's that house worth? Now, don't forget, you're creating a product, okay, that really doesn't exist. You're taking an established neighborhood, you know, all these houses were built in 1977, and they all look the same, inside and out, ugly, like 1977. 1977 was cool, right? But today, not anymore, okay? And you take that house, and you're going to bring it into the 21st century. Yes, sir. You're going to make it look like 2019, 2020, 2021. You know, granite countertops. You know, shaker cabinets. You know, the espresso color, very nice, right? You have gray walls or pastel blue walls. You know, the newest deal. Okay. You know, laminate flooring, stainless steel appliances, upgraded bathrooms, walk-in showers. Okay. What's that house worth? You have this house that was built in 1977, but now it's in the 21st century, right? Okay. And then it's surrounded by a sea of 1977 houses. Okay. People buy property this way. Okay. If you're married and you're the husband, you're not making this decision. It's the wife. You and I both know. Women make the decision buying a family home. All right. So, first of all, you have to have curb appeal. You pull up. Wow, house looks great from the outside. paint, landscaping, some color. If you're in the desert, it's going to be, rock with some color and the drip system, right? Okay. You're going to open the front door. You're going to have the wow factor, open living space, fantastic. Look at the kitchen, all modern stainless steel appliances. It's beautiful. Okay. Master bedroom. Look at this master bedroom. Look in the walk-in closets. Look at the bathrooms, all upgraded. None of the other houses in the neighborhood are going to have that. Okay. So when you're looking at a property, you need to determine what's the value of the property going to be looking into the future. When you've done the magic, hey, when you've made that investment, okay, right? So what's the value of the property in its improved condition, okay? Because that valuation will affect everything else. The condition of the property will affect your renovation rehab. I mean, you know that, right? Holes in the wall, no holes in the wall. HVAC is working, is not working. I mean, these are all things that affect, the renovation expense, okay? You're also going to have to learn about the rule of 70, and we'll get into that more as I move along. It used to be the rule of 60, but now it's the rule of 70. And the rule of 70 is 70% of the after renovation or after repair value. You've heard people, bandy around that term. ARV. What's ARV? Okay, right? ARV, after rehab value, after repair value, after renovation value. R can mean lots of different things, but essentially, ARV is the value of the home after you've completed the improvements. Okay, and then you're going to have your cost of renovation, right? You're going to have your holding costs and so on and so forth. So the rule of 70 typically is 70% of ARV, right, the improved value, minus repair, and that should be your offer. Whoa, yeah. And the people were actually getting that. Yeah, they were, yeah. So here I gave an example of a house where the improved value is $210,000. Renovation is about $24,000, and we'll get about renovation another time, okay? Which means your purchase price would need to be 70% of 210 less renovation. So 70% of 210 minus $24,000 is $123,000. Now, if you look at the spread between 210 and the purchase price, you have about a $90,000 spread, $87,000 spread, right? Okay, it's $87,000 again, $87,000 spread. Okay, that's going to obviously determine your net profit, because you also have buying transaction costs, right? Okay, escrow, closing costs, lawyer fees, whatever. Okay, you also have selling transaction costs. You're going to be paying commissions to somebody. Listing agent, buyer's agent, going to get a piece of the action. As a seller, you have to pay that. Here in Nevada, we have, Las Vegas, we have transfer tax. You have title insurance. There are all kinds of other expenses. And that's what comes out of that $87,000 spread. Okay? Now, I use it real quick and dirty when I'm looking at deals here. If I'm looking at stuff in the $200,000 range, okay, I need my spread to be somewhere between 60 to 80. So it's really a quick assessment. You look at a property, what's the top value of the property, okay? What's the most I can get it for? Deduct 60, 80 grand. This is what my offer needs to be. Can I get it near that? Okay, because that really is going to affect your offer. Okay, renovation is another story. Renovation really controls the condition of the property, and sometimes you can go in and do what I call a mop and glow, which means new paint, new carpet, super duper clean, landscaping. In other words, remove the obvious ugly blemishes, okay, and you can leave and get money. So light renovation. Okay, or sometimes it's a heavy duty renovation. I've had that where squatters were in the property, holes in the wall. There's literally no plumbing. Okay, all the electrical's gone. AC unit? What AC unit? There was an AC unit here. Okay. Um, I've done all the whole gamut. Okay, but the bottom line is you have to assign a number for renovation. A lot of people trying to make a deal happen by underestimating the renovation or whatever it might be. Okay, a lot of people try to make a deal happen by overestimating the improved condition value of the property, and a lot of people do it right. Now, the key about being a good wholesaler, right? Because what you're going to do as a wholesaler is you're going to make a righteous offer, you're going to get the property under contract, and you're going to get it to another flipper investor and say, listen, I've got this property under contract, and I think it's a great deal. Now, if they look at it and they don't see it as a great deal, guess what? You're going to be sitting on that contract for a long, long time. My nose is itching. Okay, now I will tell you one thing. I have taken deals to 5 different investors, and they all have their different buying parameters. You know, it's just crazy. I look at a deal and I just say, hey, can I make money from this or not? Yes or no? I don't care if there's tenants in there. I don't care what part of town it's in. Okay? If it's in a shitty part of town with high crime, guess what? That's going to be reflected in the price of the property when I buy it, right? And when I sell it. Even poor people need a place to live, like super poor people. Okay, I've made money on houses, where the nobody would buy it because of the neighborhood. Really? Well, it's a neighborhood because people are living there. So if it's a really horrible neighborhood, and guess what? I'm going to buy it at a horribly low price. Everything is reflected in the value or the price that you're going to be paying for. Okay? If you get a deal is a deal is a deal. Okay? If you have a deal, money will be attracted like a magnet, like by magic. You can take it to an investor that's got 30 flips going on, is run out of money. If you've got a deal and he thinks it's a deal, let me tell you something. He'll find the money to do that deal because he won't want that deal to go away. Okay, but first of all, how do you value the after rehab value, ARV of the property? Real simple. You look in the neighborhood. Now, in the olden days, right? Okay, and listen, before I go there, if you make something super duper nice, people will open up their checkbook. They will. They'll probably pay more money than it's worth. But you can't really do that anymore because most people go to a bank to borrow money, right? Okay, to pay for their house. Nobody comes along, well, some people do, but very rarely, and writes a check. Here, have a nice day. Okay, they have to go to a bank. The bank's the lender. And the first thing the lender's going to do is order an appraisal. Now, appraisals today aren't like what they used to be. In the olden days, you tell the appraiser, hey, it's worth 230. We're buying it for 230. Yep, it's worth 230. That was called mortgage fraud. A lot of appraisers went to jail. Yeah. Okay. So now an appraiser actually does it by the numbers. Okay. They're going to look at houses just like yours, within a half a mile to a mile. Okay. And they're going to compare your house to other houses in the area, what they sold for, the historical sale value. They're going to compare 2 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms, 1 story to 1 story, pool, no pool, 2-car garage, 1-car garage, whatever it might be, right? Okay. Now, when you run your own comparisons, when you're looking at ARV, okay, generally speaking, there have been so many flips going on that I guarantee you, well, no, I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure you'll find a home very close to yours, within a half a mile to a mile, that's already been renovated, that's got about the same square footage, that's one level just like yours, 3 bedrooms just like yours, 2 baths just like yours, 2-car garage just like yours, that's sold, right? Okay, and that's going to kind of set the benchmark for the value of your property, the top value of your property. If you can't find anything that's been renovated, like brand new, that you can compare it to, then look at something that was sold for the maximum amount, but it's the exact match. And let me explain something to you. This is very, very critically important. Okay, real estate agents make this mistake all the time. Okay, and I know that you're probably don't know anything. Okay, and a lot of people, like, they look at realtors like, ooh. Let me explain something to you about real estate agents. In Las Vegas, in Nevada, there's 13,000 licensed agents, number one. Number two, okay, out of those 13,000, there's maybe 100 that are any good, that know what they're doing. I've been doing it here for a long, long time. Okay, let's talk about this for just a minute. What does it take to become a realtor? It's really simple. Okay, getting a realtor's license is regulated on a state-by-state basis. Here in Nevada, you take 90 hours of education, you go take the tests, the state tests, federal tests on laws and regulations, and then all the other stuff, right? You pass the test, you get a license. Now you're a licensed realtor. But in order to practice, your craft, you have to join up with a broker. I know, yeah, funny. Huh? Those are called good old boy laws. Anyway, so you have to take your license and hang it with the broker and work for the broker. Because really, when you sign a client up, it's not your client, it's the broker's client. But that's another story. We'll talk about that later. Okay? But just because somebody took 90 hours of education and got a license, right? And they got their license with the broker, it doesn't mean they know anything about real estate. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a lot of people going, well, my realtor tells me this, and my realtor, really? What has your realtor done lately? But then there are really smart realtors. Okay, I want to sell my house. It's like a fireman being the first guy to a fire. Hey, this house is a deal. I'll buy it for myself. There are a lot of real estate agents here in town. They own a lot of real estate. Now, they have to disclose, hey, I'm an agent. I own the property. Yeah, okay. Because they get first crack at it. Catch my drift? But anyway, okay. So when you're running your comparisons, don't compare one-story to two-story. Agents do that all the time. Okay? There's a reason why somebody buys a one-story house. Maybe they're older. They got bad knees. They don't like stairs. I don't like stairs. I don't have bad knees. If I'm going to buy a house, it's going to be one level. I hate stairs. But there are some people that want 2-level houses because they want the bedrooms as far away as possible. I don't know. Okay? You don't compare a house with a swimming pool with a house that doesn't have a swimming pool. Now, there are certain exceptions to like everything else, right? People figure a way out. But it's going to require you to have a much deeper understanding of real estate. Okay? So, for example, here, swimming pool, spa. If you're comparing a house that has one versus one that doesn't have one or whatever, okay, it's another $25,000 to $35,000 ad. But that's specialized knowledge, which you don't have. Okay? So don't start making moves like that. What you need to do is find a house or find homes that are just like the house you're buying or thinking about buying. Okay? But you're looking for the top dollar. You're looking for top of the moon. Okay? And let me explain something to you. Just because the owner has a sense of what they want to sell the house for, okay, it doesn't mean that they're going to get that. I want to sell my house for $500,000. Great. I want to win the Powerball lottery. How about that? Let me explain something to you. No deal is better than a bad deal. I see a lot of wholesalers that panic because they don't have anything under contract. It'll come along. Okay? It'll come along. But you got to make sure your valuation is correct. You got to make sure that your numbers on rehab are correct. Okay? Because otherwise, if you take your stuff to an investor, they're going to look at that, okay, and they're going to say, this guy brings me nothing but wood. I would have wholesalers call me up. I had a wholesaler one time send me a spreadsheet with 30. Hey, listen, I got 37 properties. He sent me this spreadsheet. I spent hours running the numbers on every single deal. Okay? I picked up the phone. Hey man, do me a favor. Never, ever send me another spreadsheet again. What a waste of time. And here's the other challenge. I did find maybe 2 or 3 deals that maybe had some room in them. I could never get a hold of the guy. Do you know why? Because the other 20 friggin' cash buyers like me, okay, were on him about those 2 or 3 deals too. Okay? Yes, you can get anything on the contract, right? You can get anything on the contract if you pay too much. What you want to do is you want to look at stuff that's sold in the last 6 months to a year, okay? And the other thing you want to look at is what in the area is available at the same price point that I think I'm going to sell at. Because, you know, people look at, I want to live in this area, this is how much money I want to pay. And they're going to look to see, you know, for 280, what am I getting for my 280? Or what am I getting for my 120? Or what am I getting for my 130? And if they see a house that's nicer than yours for less money, that's the one that's going to go first. Yeah, right. The other thing too is what I tell agents or when I tell homeowners is, look, you know what? I know you want to sell your house for, come up with a number, $220,000, and you're right. You could sell it for that if it was in perfect condition. But your house is not in perfect condition. 60% of a home's value can be determined by the condition of the property. Remember that. Moral of the story, really simple. If you buy it right, you can sell it right. If you cannot accurately ascertain what the improved value of the property is going to be, okay, you won't know what you should buy it for. I mean, you can go take a look at it, right, and kind of see, oh, okay, I'm going to have to spend this much money on fixing it up, okay? But if the top value doesn't support any type of offer, then don't even bother. Look, I don't talk to anybody. I don't get in my car and look at a property until I know I can make the numbers work. If the ARV is there and I'm somewhere close to where the guy maybe wants to sell it, okay, now I gotta just look at the, you know, renovation, the rehab. What's it really gonna take? Is it gonna be a mop and glow, paint and carpet? Is it gonna be like a huge renovation where I'm gonna have to put all new mechanical, AC, sprinkler system? Okay? And then don't forget the neighborhood that it's in. There are houses I haven't bought because the house next door looked like a dumpster. I actually was going to buy this house. It was a great part of town. It was a bank REO, and the house next door looked like a dumpster. And I said, well, the only way for me to make it work would be to buy both houses, right? And make even more money. So I knocked on the front door. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. No, I rang the bell first. Nobody answered. But this huge dog, I could tell it was huge because it had a deep woof. No, it was big. Dog came up to the, you know, they have the little relight, you know, with the glass. Oh, bigger than a horse. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it was a big dog. Woof, woof, woof. Okay, and I knocked on the door, more woof, woof, woofing. Nobody came to the door. I don't know why. Maybe they weren't home. But I ended up not buying the bank REO, although I could have bought it. I did talk to the realtor, and all the numbers made sense, and I could have picked it up cheap. But I knew I was going to have a problem selling it because of the friggin' house next door. Really? Who wants to like pull up every day? Oh, here's my beautiful home, and here's the dump. Somebody did end up buying that house, actually for a little less than I was going to make an offer for. But it took them almost a year to sell it. Okay. A lot of newbie people make wrong decisions. They buy the wrong product or look at the wrong product and they make the wrong valuation. Okay. Early this year, I'm online, I'm looking at stuff. A really good indicator of somebody who's motivated to sell is when you have price drops on the MLS. Okay, price drop. Okay, no one likes this price. Maybe I can get people to look at it. I mean, sometimes people don't even get a viewing, a showing. Well, that's kind of telling, isn't it? So they drop the price. So price drop might be an early indicator of the guy being more motivated today than he was maybe when he first listed the property or she listed the property. So I look at price drops, and I was looking online, I'm seeing all these price drops on these houses, but when I looked at the pictures, they all look brand new inside. I'm going, what? They were manufactured homes. Manufactured homes. They were trying to sell these manufactured homes at the same price point as a stick built. I know exactly what happened last year. They had all these seminars coming through Las Vegas. Become a flipper, become a flipper, become a flipper. Okay, you had guys or girls getting their real estate agent. We need to find stuff. I'm an investor. I got money from my 401k. Okay, and there wasn't anything out there because as soon as there was, it was being picked up really quick. I did a lot of deals last year, but you didn't let the grass grow. Okay? And I'm sure what happened was the only thing that was left, because nobody really likes them or buys them. I mean, I'll buy a manufactured house if I can steal it, like dirt cheap, like beyond dirt cheap. Okay? And so I'm sure what happened was real estate agent says, yeah, go ahead, buy the manufactured house. Real estate agent doesn't care. Real estate agent's making 3% commission. Okay? According to Laura's title, my understanding is the average house in Las Vegas last year sold for $335,000. Okay? That means if I'm a 3% agent on that transaction, okay, I'm going to make 10 grand. $10,000. $200,000 house, $6,000 commission. $100,000 house, $3,000 commission. Don't believe everything your realtor tells you, because they're motivated by commission. I don't blame them. Listen, it's the human thing. We all have bills to pay. We have kids to send through private school. Got to pay for that Gucci stuff somehow. Right? Okay? Okay? So don't always believe the realtor. Educate yourself. This is what I talked about, the high learning curve. Okay? A realtor is going to give you information. Yes, they're good. Okay? But don't forget, many instances it's going to be tainted because they're going to make commission. Now, what I do is I use that to work for me. Yeah. When I'm dealing with the listing realtor, who's the listing agent, I'll say to them, listen, I don't have a realtor representing me. How would you like to represent me in a dual agency? Heck yes. Now the guy's going to make 6%. He's going to get both sides of the transaction. Before, as a listing agent, he'd just make 3%. Okay? And then the buyer's agent gets another 3%. But now I want to be the buyer. So now he's the listing agent for the seller. He's going to make 3%. He's going to be the agent for the buyer, me, 3%. Now he still has a fiduciary responsibility to the seller. Yeah, okay. But if he's getting 6% on my deal, and someone else comes along with another deal where he's only going to make 3%, which deal do you think he's going to push a little harder? Yeah, okay. But the opposite's too, okay? When you ask them to run comps, when you ask them for an opinion. Now, there are really professional realtors out there. I have a friend of mine. I won't tell you his first and last name. I'll just give you his first name. Super nice guy. Okay? Been in the business, finance business, real estate business, almost his entire life. Fantastic real estate agent. Worked with him for about 2 years. His name is Lukash. Okay? During the height of everything that was going on, he and his wife go to dinner at this really nice restaurant. Okay? And at the end of the dinner, the waiter kind of pulls him aside and says, hey, man, gives him a business card. In case you're looking for some houses or whatever, I'm a real estate agent on the side. That's the realtor that you don't want. Okay? If I'm going to have a realtor, I'm going to have a realtor who's a professional realtor. If I'm going to have a waiter at a restaurant wait on me, especially a nice restaurant, That guy better be a professional waiter. Is not a realtor in disguise. Yeah, I know. Okay? So don't always believe what the realtor tells you. When they run comps, just ask somebody to run comps for you. Hey, I'm looking at this house over here. Can you run comps for me? See what you get back. And I think you might be amazed. Okay? So listen, if you don't know how to value property properly as it relates to ARV, okay, no legitimate investor or cash buyer is going to take you seriously. And if you waste their time, they're not even going to take your phone call. This guy's a waste of time. He's always trying to sell me something that's not worth anything. Okay? Um, provide them with solid numbers that shows that you know your stuff. Okay? Otherwise, you are just wasting your time. True story. Okay? So let's say you want to become a bird dogger, wholesaler, whatever. What's the first thing you need to do? You need to find flippers. You need to find guys who are cash buyers. Now, there are a lot of people out there, I run into them all the time. I'm a cash buyer. I'm an investor. Cool. How many have you done? Well, I'm still working on my first one. Oh, okay. All right. So you're really a wannabe. Okay? As I explained to you earlier, 80% of house flippers, investors, whatever, have a challenge finding product. Because years ago it was really super duper easy and they made a lot of money and they got money. Okay? Now it's becoming more difficult. I have I'll use the term friend very loosely, but he owns a construction company. He was a remodeler, and that's how he kind of got involved in the business. People would want their kitchens upgraded or something fixed in their house, and they couldn't afford it after he gave them the bid. I wonder why. And then they would say, hey, why don't you buy the house? Right? Like this, the house with the broken roof story? Yeah? Okay. You know, why don't I buy your house and you can go live in a house with a fixed roof or with an upgraded kitchen or whatever it might be. And that's how he got involved in the flipping business. Kind of interesting, right? Okay. Everybody says they're a cash buyer. There are a lot of wannabe investors, a lot of wannabe wholesalers that want to become cash buyers. Okay. In order to find real cash buyers, okay, how many deals have you done? Okay. Team up with hard money lenders. Okay. Hard money lenders know who the real cash buyers are. Because hard money cash is like cash. I'll have a whole section on hard money and stuff like that later. Anybody can get financed, by the way. Don't think you have to save up $180,000 to do a flip. Not at all. Okay. I get people financed all the time. But go to a hard money lender, because people who are doing flips are going to the hard money guy to borrow money. And the hard money guy makes his living from lending money. And he wants to lend more money. So if he can turn you on to one of his flipper guys, so the flipper guy picks up your property, the hard money guy can lend money onto, okay, it's a match made in heaven. I personally only have one rule about real estate investing is, can I make money from this? Okay? Key, make a plan, work a plan, discipline yourself. You need to think about a company name. I know you're all running out there, oh, my company's going to be called this, and that, and everything else. Okay? Entity type. Okay? Learn how to do it yourself. Everybody goes to LegalZoom or they get a lawyer. Hey, I need you to register a company for me. Blah, blah, blah. Let me write you a big check. No. Figure out how to do this yourself. This is called no money. No money. You have no money. Okay? Network with people. Okay? You will have to kind of get some kind of CRM. I guess if you have to use an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of stuff. But keep track of stuff. If you're going to make this into a real business, if you're serious, okay, CRM is going to be a great thing for you. It's going to track buyers, it's going to track sellers, it's going to track your deals, it'll keep you going in terms of your tasks and your things to do. You need to be organized about this. You need to treat this like a real business, okay? You need to develop what I call a no money mentality, Okay? Everything you need to do, everything needs to be self-liquidated. Okay? Pay for itself. Okay? Learn how to do it yourself. Okay? How can I get it for free? I need to do this. How can I do it for nothing? Learn how to do that. Okay? Even when you are making some money and you need somebody to make phone calls, assuming you're already too busy. I mean, I had this one guy, he was barely out of what he was doing, okay, working for somebody, and he starts hiring a virtual assistant to make the phone calls. Well, what are you doing, man? Are you busy? Too busy making phone calls? No. Okay. Anyway, um, use call tracking to track your numbers, when you post phone numbers up. There's software out there that does that. Okay? What I'm saying to you is treat this like a real business. If you don't know how to run a business or treat it like a real business, don't do this. Don't. Save yourself stress. Save yourself heartache. Okay? But if you want to learn, you can learn. You need to line yourself up with a mentor. Okay? More importantly, be accountable to yourself. I have a very simple thing I say to myself every single day. You know how people make goals? Do you make goals? Do you write them down? Okay? Where do I want to be a week from now, a year from now? Right? Okay? One of the things I ask myself multiple times every single day is what I'm doing right now taking me or getting me to where I want to be? Is what I'm doing right now getting me to where I want to be? Simple answer, yes or no. If the answer is yes, great, carry on. If the answer is no, say, okay, no, I'm taking some time off, or change what you're doing. My name is John Jack Rainmaker Common. Join my community, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, learn how to make money.